Let's go.
Yes, let's go. And going we shall. What's up, everybody? Once again, is another edition, another episode of Bloodbrothersballin podcast. You know the podcast where brothers are talking about sports. And today, we got a pretty good lineup for you. It's NFL centric. We're going to do our first power rankings as we hit the midpoint of the NFL regular season. We're going to go through our power rankings. And then, of course, we'll talk a little bit about some individuals in the NFL. We'll talk a little Aaron Rodgers. We may talk a little other stuff, depending on time, maybe a little OBJ. And we're going to get into, of course, some topics, some interesting topics that have, kind of taken the headlines this week. So first, of course, we said we're going to do our power rankings. And before we get started, let's introduce ourselves. If you have not heard our podcast, where have you been? Okay, we've really, I think, done a great job this season of getting into some topics that are pressing, for fans. And we're just going to do another episode of some really good content. So first, let's introduce ourselves. John, host number one, go ahead and introduce yourself or say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's up, people? This is John Exum. We have a packed show for you today. You're gonna love it. You'll enjoy it.
And I am Rob. And of course, we are biological brothers. But hey, we like sports. We like talking about sports. We like debating about sports. But sometimes, listen, we may come from the same parents, but we may not share the same beliefs when it comes to sports.
Right.
It happens. Sometimes we agree. Other times we will not agree. But we're going to keep it real and we're going to stay true. So, of course, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to go through our NFL power rankings. Of course, this isn't just the top 10. We're not going through all 32 teams, just the top 10. The teams we consider to be contenders so far as the season has progressed to the midway point. So, John, go ahead and hit us up. Now, the way I did it was from number 10 going to number 1, and I'm assuming you kind of did the same thing.
Right.
10 to 1. So go ahead right now. Give us your number 10 team for the NFL power rankings this season.
Okay, so my 10th team right now is the Kansas City Chiefs. I've ranked them. I got them at number 10. I have them literally almost with a tie with the Saints, because at this point of the season, you guys, everyone is well aware that Jameis Winston will be out for the remainder of the season. And so I have Kansas City Chiefs there, but I would have them at a tie with the New Orleans Saints. There. You want me to give my 9, and then you want me to give my 10 and 9, and then you'll go?
Okay, you want to give number 9? Go ahead.
My number 9 team is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay.
They have fallen off a little bit, but I still believe in them because of the talent they have at the wide receiver position and their quarterback. I still like their quarterback, but they're hitting a couple of bumps on the road right now. But I think they'll get back. They'll get back. But I have them at number 9.
Okay, so you got the Chiefs and then the Chargers.
And the Chargers, yep.
All right. So number 10 for me, I had the Tennessee Titans. I think the Titans are the best team in the division. And they're capable, I'll tell you this about Tennessee, they're capable of beating anyone and they're capable of losing to anyone. And of course, they're one of the 2 teams that lost to the Jets. They also are one of the teams, I think, that so thoroughly dominated Kansas City. Kansas City has had a rough season this year, but Tennessee thoroughly dominated them. I believe that was a 27-3 score.
27-3 score, yep.
Yeah. To hold that offense to 3 points was probably one of the more impressive performances of the entire season. Their defense has the ability to play at an elite level at times. It's not an elite defense, but they have the ability to play at elite level at times. And sometimes that's enough if you have the offensive firepower. Losing Derrick Henry is a massive blow because it takes away the balance that they have, and it forces Ryan Tannehill to be more of a playmaker. We'll see how good of a playmaker he can be going forward. But Tennessee, I think, is my number 10. And number 9, we actually agreed. I got the Los Angeles Chargers. They're middle of the pack when it comes to like offensive and defensive, like total offense, total defense. But what I like about them is their big playability. Justin Herbert is a big arm, young, but he has really good weapons. Cook as the tight end is he's always produced wherever he's been.
Right.
And then you have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. That's a really solid,
very tall lineup. They have a very tall lineup.
And then you have Joey Bosa being able to get after the passer. Derwin James. It's a good talented team. You would think if you just focus on names and you want to see them a little higher, but very, very good potential. And number 9 team is the LA Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have at number 8?
At number 8, I actually have the Tennessee Titans. So I have the Tennessee Titans at number 8. Mm-hmm. They would have been higher had Derrick Henry not been hurt. Mm-hmm. They're playing right now great football. They're on a roll after beating Indianapolis, and they came around and followed that up with beating Kansas City. Mm-hmm. They've been on a roll. So I have them. Now here's the thing. What happened to losing Derrick Henry, because Derrick Henry is their workhorse. You could argue, you can say that he's the one that facilitates the play action pass for AJ. Absolutely. Yeah, for AJ and Julio. The thing now that's going to happen. Here's the thing. I actually think Tannehill is a decent quarterback. Do I think that Tannehill, if you look at his stats, has been putting up top 10 quarterback numbers. Season over season, ever since he left Miami. He's been consistent. I still don't believe, I don't know, I have an inkling in my heart, he's still not that dude. Not that guy who's boom.
Yeah, because of what you've seen earlier in his career.
Right.
And for so many years, the 5 or so years he played in Miami, he was just at best a pedestrian quarterback. Now, that may say more about Miami than, because he's been much better when he's played for the Titans. He's been a much better quarterback.
Yeah.
So,
to me, I have him. Here's the thing. Them losing Derrick Henry, to me, will tell us all we need to know about Tannehill. Can Tannehill rise above losing? Because here's the thing. Their backup running back behind, they did sign Adrian Peterson.
Sure.
Who listen, Adrian Peterson 10 years ago was a superb running back. Adrian Peterson is what? How old is he? 30, almost 35, 36? He's old.
Yeah, he's pretty up there. I mean, especially in running back. Running back is not a position you can play. Frank Gore, played a long time, but he was more of a part-time running back for the last probably 6 or 7 years of his career.
He was more part-time. So they signed Peterson, but the backup running back they had behind Henry, he's decent. The question is now, can Tannehill make plays? And here's the thing. This is my argument. You have in my opinion, you have 2 elite receivers. You have 2 elite receivers on each side. This is there are teams that wish they had that. I want to see him rise above. Because I'm not gonna lie, and this may be disrespectful when people hear this, but I almost put Kirk Cousins and Ryan Tannehill in the same bucket. In terms of guys,
I mean, that's not
in terms of guys who have talent.
That's not bad.
Let's not lie. Kirk Cousins has Thielen and Jefferson, 2 elite receivers, and you have an elite running back running behind you. Your team should be better.
Yeah, before that he had
Diggs.
Before he had Thielen and Jefferson, he had Thielen and Diggs.
Right.
So,
he's
had great receivers.
Right, and let's not lie. Minnesota had some runs in the playoffs with first cousin. Okay, but I expect more. right? I expect more from him. And so Tannehill, here's the thing. I am rooting for Tannehill because I think if Tannehill is able to rise above, and let's just hypothetically say Tennessee makes it around. I'm not even saying Tennessee makes the Super Bowl, but if Tennessee makes some noise in the playoffs, that bodes well for Tannehill long term.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
he got his money, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens. Moving forward. 8, I got the New Orleans Saints. I had the Saints because of their defense. Number 2 run defense in the NFL. That's going to say a lot. As you know, it gets colder. Teams want to run the ball, want to control the clock more. New Orleans is able to stop you. They're not dynamic offensively. They have Alvin Kamara, but that's about it. Michael Thomas is not coming back this year. We'll see if they're able. There's reports. OBJ. He's not on the team now. So you have one of the best play callers in Sean Payton, but they are limited at quarterback. Like you mentioned earlier, Jameis Winston's done for the season.
Yeah, you don't have Jameis. I don't think the ball
Trevor
can go deep.
Siemian. Trevor Siemian. He's a serviceable game managing quarterback. He's like the typical game manager quarterback. So Trevor Siemian is going to be able. He'll be able to make some plays. Like they won last week, mainly. The defense was huge, but the play of Trevor Siemian, definitely helped. As well when it came down to their ability to kind of score, ball control, and move the ball. So I think their defense.
Rob, I want to throw something in there that you just said. This is a slight caveat to New Orleans situation. Are you surprised that New Orleans hasn't made a phone call to Cam Newton?
No, I'm not surprised. Cam Newton is for what they need, which is especially if you look what they did. They got Mark Ingram? They got him back. So obviously they want to run the ball with their running backs. They're not. Cam Newton's effectiveness is really as a running dual threat quarterback. Physically, I don't know if he's able to really perform at the level that what he once was. If you make him strictly a pocket passer, I don't know if you get the same you're not going to get the same results. I don't think of a team, if I'm going for a championship, unless there's nobody else, like my room is left with undrafted journeyman or something, I don't see Cam Newton being the solution for New Orleans. I don't think that he should be out of the league because I don't agree that there are 64 quarterbacks that are better than him at this point.
Is Trevor Siemian better than him?
I think he's better for New Orleans because if he wants to do a short passing game, Trevor Siemian can complete that. The one thing about Cam, he's an excellent athlete, one of the best athletes to play the quarterback position, but it's always been about his accuracy. So his short to intermediate accuracy. He can throw. He's able to throw the ball deep, but his short to intermediate accuracy is always like the thing that's kind of played against him, or he hasn't really developed that part of his game. So I think in that situation, I would not want Cam. I don't think Cam would be the best solution for New Orleans, but I do agree that there are not 64 quarterbacks that are better than Cam Newton, and he likely should get an opportunity somewhere.
So on record, you're not saying that Trevor Siemian is a better quarterback than Cam Newton. He's not a better fit.
He's a better fit for New Orleans now,
right?
Okay?
But
think
Cam,
about what
the intangibles that Cam can provide don't align with what New Orleans is doing right now.
Yes, and I'm talking strictly about the Saints.
Okay,
I don't think Cam Newton helps the Saints, any more than Trevor Siemian would. So that's my feeling.
Okay. All right.
So number 8, I had New Orleans. Number 7, I'm going to go first. I have the Baltimore Ravens. Number 7. Okay. They have the most dynamic player, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson needs to be respected as a passer of the ball as well as a runner. We know that his ability to run is second to none. He is. I've said it before that I feel Lamar Jackson is what we expected more so from Mike Vick. But Mike Vick did not have a coach that ran this offense through him as Baltimore. Baltimore runs their offense through Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson's ability to make plays, his pocket presence, his ability to make plays with both his legs and his arm. No quarterback in the league right currently, with the exception of Kyler Murray, has that kind of ability right now. Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson are two of the most dynamic players at quarterback right now. I think it's going to be extremely important that they keep him healthy. I think it's going to be extremely important they get productive, performances in the running game from their other running backs, Murray, Devontae Freeman, the whatever's left of Le'Veon Bell. So I think that's going to be key. Their defense definitely needs to step up. It has not performed, and they haven't performed great this season. But Baltimore, the 7th best team in the NFL in my power rankings. What say you about number 7?
All right, number 7 for me is also Baltimore. So I have them. Oh yes. So I gave you guys my 8. 8 was Tennessee. 7 is Baltimore. If Baltimore was healthier, I would have them ranked much, much higher.
Yeah.
I still feel they're my dark horse team. I think that they're very dangerous. Unfortunately, some guys they lost for the season. Some guys they've lost for a couple of weeks. They got some guys coming back the next couple of weeks, but they have other key players that are lost for the season. And the thing is when you look at that roster, you got to give it to Ozzie Newsome and the management staff as to like imagine you have a team, you lose your first and second string running back for the season. And then you have other positional places like your first round draft pick, you lost him for like the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. Like he's just coming back into the fold, Bateman, who I think is going to be who I think once him and Lamar get on the same page, he's going to be big time, just like Lamar and Andrews are. Like that team has been decimated on the defensive side of the ball as well as the offensive side of the ball, but they still find a way to keep trucking.
Yeah, because they have the best. They have the best rushing attack. Lamar Jackson covers up a lot of things. That's what a good quarterback needs to do. Cover up a lot of your team's weaknesses.
And then, but my concern, because Lamar is so necessary for that offense, you don't want to burn out your, you want your quarterback to have a 15-year career at the rate that Lamar Jackson is being used. Because like his body takes a lot of punishment. He is not that big of a guy. He's not that big of a guy. And listen, getting hit and hit and hit and hit and hit over time, it starts to wear on you. What was the thing with Randall Cunningham that a lot of people said? He took too much punishment early on in his career. And then as he got onto his prime years, his 8, 9, his like 7, 8, 9, when the team, like his body was beat to death. Right. Yeah. And that's my concern for Lamar is I love how the guy plays. He's always in attack mode, but I'm concerned with the amount of punishment his body has been taking because he is not that big guy. Like he's not like he doesn't have a body like Josh Allen. And Josh Allen has some meat on his bones to take to take a little bit of punishment. But my concern, I am concerned about Lamar. So that's why I have them 7. I'll give you my 6. My 6 will probably surprise you.
Well, before you go 6, just want a quick thing about Baltimore. I mentioned their defense. Worst passing defense in the league. Dead last.
Yeah.
Saying dead last. That's a problem.
Yep, that is a problem. I'm a slider with my 6. My 6 is the Green Bay Packers.
Oh boy.
I got them at 6. Like even though they've been red hot, part of it is because of Aaron Rodgers, but B also I don't know. Part of me feels like it's fool's gold right now. I don't fully trust them. I have 5 other teams that I trust more than the Packers right now. And even though they beat one of the teams that's in my top 5, recently, I still feel that this is where they are, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And so I have them at number 6.
Yep. So number
Mhm.
6, I don't have Green Bay. I have another Bay. I have Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay
Oh,
Buccaneers as the number 6 team. Listen, I think their run defense is number 2 in the league. Their offense, total offense, is number 2 in the league. Middle of the pack when it comes to passing defense. But they got to get healthy. I'm concerned. My issue with them is that their secondary has been so decimated with injuries. It's been very difficult for them to really be the kind of defense that they want. That I think they have the potential to be with those pass rushers that they have. I also think it's extremely important that on offense they get AB back and they get Gronkowski back. That's going to be important because as Tom always, and you've seen it in the seasons past, I think he's playing at an MVP type level, but he's going to have those lulls where it's going to be like 2 or 3 weeks where he's not necessarily performing at his best. You start to see that 44-year-old age, and then it's over. No, he's, usually needs that, I guess, retool kind of time. I think he'll be pretty good over the next couple of weeks. I know they play the Giants pretty soon, so he always loves, whooping up on my team. So Tom Brady, I think, is going to start to get it, back up in gear. Didn't have a good game against New Orleans. That's why New Orleans was able to win. But Tampa, they have the names, they have the talent. I think right now, for where they are, it's kind of like that little lull period. So watch Tampa these next 3 or 4 weeks and see if they're able to kick it up another notch. But number 6, I got Tampa Bay. My number 5 was Green Bay. Was the Green Bay Packers. They have the weapons. I mean, Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. They could use another receiver, I think, and the loss of Robert Tonyan at tight end is going to be felt. I think that this is going to be a big loss for them. Defensively, they've been solid. They have good talent on the defense. One thing you can say about Green Bay, they make sure that they have adequate talent on both sides of the ball. You got a really good defense, really solid pass rush. They're not a great defense. So we'll see, how that transpires, especially, like I said, as it gets colder, teams want to run the ball more. Are you able to stop the run on a consistent basis? We'll see with Green Bay, but I like what they have offensively. Do they have enough of a balance defensively? And will they commit to the run, in games against some of the more elite teams that they got coming up? So I got Green Bay at number 5.
Okay. My number 5 is yes, I gave you guys my 6 was Green Bay.
Yeah.
My number 5 is the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh boy. Number 5, Dallas.
Yes, I got Dallas because listen, I have watched Dallas 3 consecutive weeks. Okay. And listen, they have a lot of offense. You have what I call slash and burn in their running back in the backfield with Ezekiel and Pollard. You have I'm not even a Cowboys fan, but I am a big CD Lamb fan. I am a really big CD. I love how CD Lamb plays. You got CD Lamb, you got Amari Cooper, you got what's his name? He's coming back. Gallup. Gallup is hurt, but he's coming back. Listen, you have 3 receivers. You have great tight end play. And you got Dak. Listen, Dak Prescott is an elite quarterback. Let's give the man his flowers. He is an elite quarterback. He can play. He is proven he can play. 4th round pick, he can play. For them, here's the thing: for them to beat Minnesota, which when I saw that Dak wasn't playing, I was like, okay, so Dallas is picking this week as an L. Minnesota should have beaten Dallas, period, hands down. But then it goes back to show you who Kirk Cousins is. He shrinks in the limelight. When he's on stage, he shrinks. And so that's we'll talk about Kirk Cousins probably in a future episode. But I'm very disappointed in him. Because he started the trend of the guaranteed contracts for $84 million. He started the big guarantee contract deal, I think it's bad for business. For the NFL.
Well, for the NFL's
yeah.
Well, yeah. For the owners, I think for the players, it's great business.
Yeah. For the players, it's a great business, but for the owners are looking at that as like, now we got to give all this guaranteed money up front to these quarterbacks, and they might end up like Kirk Cousins. That's not a good that's not a good win for us.
No.
But I got the Cowboys because they're playing well. I have a couple teams ahead of them strictly because I just think those teams just have an extra gear. So I'll give you my 4. My 4 right now is Buffalo.
Okay.
I got the Bills at 4. And I'll give you this caveat. They're my first team right now from the AFC.
Okay.
From the AFC side, they're my number 1 team from the AFC side.
I'd agree with that.
But I got Buffalo at number 4. Only because like Josh Allen, listen, man, I believe in Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is going to be a great quarterback in this league. He is showing you year after year. Like after his first 2 years weren't that great.
Yep.
But when you put good pieces around a quarterback, and he finally gets the game, he turned out really well. So I got Buffalo, and I'll still stick to this. I got Buffalo representing the AFC this year, and that was my preseason pick when we did our previews. I got them representing the AFC this year, but I got Buffalo at number 4. So Dallas at 5, Buffalo at 4.
All right. So 4, I also have Buffalo. Buffalo, the Bills are the
wait. What was your 5? Who's your 5?
My 5 was the Packers.
Packers. Okay, Packers was 5. Okay.
Yeah. So 4, I got Buffalo. One of the best offenses, and then statistically one of the best defenses in the NFL. Josh Allen is a star. That's one of the best also receiving corps. Stephon Diggs is like the big one, like receiver, but you have Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders and Dawson Knox as receiving options. They're very, very competent, very, very good receiving corps. Not as good as some other receiving corps, but definitely one of the better ones in the NFL. Defensively, like I said, now their defensive numbers, they play with a lot of leads. If you look at, they shut out Miami. They had another shutout. I forgot who it was that they shut out. But they are a very, very good defense. They play with the lead a lot.
Right.
Which is, I mean, a sign of a good team is they're able to take a lead, they hold the lead, and they can finish off games. But we'll see what happens.
And can we say this? They have the best free safety in the league, in my opinion, Micah Hyde. I'm sorry. He is the best free safety in the league.
Okay, well, if that's what you want to put on, if that's what you want to be recorded.
Who's better than him? Who's better than
Micah Hyde is the best free safety in the league?
Yes.
Okay, well.
I think Micah Hyde is the best free safety in the league.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's
give me someone else better. Tell me.
I haven't really judged or really evaluated the free safeties in this league, but I'm pretty sure if I did, Micah Hyde would not be a name that.
Okay.
I mean, I think he's very good.
Okay.
But number 4, the Buffalo Bills, very, very good team. And I think one of the better teams, I would agree, best team in the AFC. My number 3 team is the Dallas Cowboys. And I put Dallas ahead of Buffalo because, like I said, when it starts to get cold and you're on the road, you need that running game to go with you. Buffalo's running game has been pretty solid, but the Dallas Cowboys running game is an elite. Second ranked running game in the NFL behind Cleveland. Dak Prescott has a better receiving core than Josh Allen, and I think that is going to be what in my opinion propels them above the Dallas Cowboys. Above the Buffalo Bills. Dallas Cowboys, the number 3 ranked team in my power rankings. Their defense is not as good as Buffalo's, but I think because of their ability to run the ball, they can possess it for longer, and that gives them the ability to really control a game more than Buffalo has. So Dallas, they've looked like one of the They at times looked like the best team in the NFL, but Dallas Cowboys, number three in my power rankings.
The Cowboys, number
Cowboys,
three. Okay,
number 3.
good.
Yep.
Okay, so for me, my number 3 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
And the reason why is you just don't bet against Brady. And even as decimated as their team is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 teams ahead of them who I just feel are positioned just better than them, right? Like, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
As like, I do agree with you that he needs Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the tight ends on the team, like, yeah, he got OJ Mayo, yeah, he got Cameron Brate, but he needs Gronk. Gronk is his safety valve in the red zone. Gronk is his guy. Gronk is always the guy he goes to. Gronk, more times than not, makes the play for Tom. He needs a safety valve. I just think, honestly, that Gronk's body's been beaten so much that I don't think, I just think that what you're seeing with him being out for so long
Mm-hmm.
is just the wear and tear. Like, his body is just can't take it anymore. But he's just doing it because he loves Tom and he'll do whatever Tom wants him to do. Antonio Brown is very key. And looking at him now, he's been nicked up a little bit the last couple of years, right? He's been nicked up. Let's not forget, Antonio Brown at one point in time was the number 1 receiver in the league.
He was.
Folks could argue maybe him and Julio 1-2, whatever, for a good, I would say 5-year run. I would argue that either him or Julio were number 1 or number 2 in the league. Yep. But right now he is a slot receiver. He's not your X and Y guy anymore. He's your slot. And so because of what he can do in between the lines, that is key for Tom Brady's success. But I have them ranked this high because I look at the guys they have, like, they have a deep depth chart when it comes to offense.
Yeah.
They have 2 good running backs, Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. And I just feel because he has Mike Evans and Godwin. Like, he has, even though the 2 guys he needs the most are not there, he has options. He has options in the roster. And the thing is, you can say what you want, but Tom Brady is the most dangerous when there's 1:25 left in the clock and he gets the ball back.
Yeah.
He always finds a way to make a play. And so I don't bet against Tom. I don't care how old he is. I don't care he's been playing forever. Are you seeing a little wear and tear lately? Yes, you are. But his mind wills him to win. And I just feel like down a stretch of a game, I don't care how good your defense is, Tom Brady has always throughout his career found a way to win a game, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I have them 3. Number 2, I have the Rams.
Okay.
At number 2, I'm looking to see what happens with now them getting, golly, who they just got?
Von Miller.
Von Miller, yeah, Von. Von Miller, at a point in time, was one of my top 3 favorite defensive players. He was like, his career has been phenomenal. Von Miller is not the same Von Miller of the MVP Super Bowl he had, where he basically gifted Peyton Manning a Super Bowl, because Peyton Manning was a shell of himself for that game. He basically gifted it to him. But I like the move because the one thing that me and you both agree on is that the Rams are in a win now mode.
Oh, absolutely. Anybody.
Their ownership is like, we got a 3-year window. We got to make this happen before this blows up. And I can respect an owner going all in because he sees it. We got a 3-year window. We got a 3-year window to get a championship. And after that, this is going to blow up. So I like his very aggressive nature. And I hope they get their Super Bowl. But I also hope Buffalo gets a Super Bowl too, because that city desperately needs one. Yeah. But yeah, all their eggs are in one basket. but I have them at number 2. So Tampa at 3, Rams number 2.
All right, so I had Dallas at 3. Number 2, I had the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Arizona has one of the better receiving cores. They have the best receiver, I think, in the league, in DeAndre Hopkins. Christian Kirk is a very underrated slot receiver. AJ Green still has a little bit of juice left. They have a very, very good running attack, I think, with Chase Edmonds and James Conner, and of course, Kyler Murray. They have a very good pass rush. They have the tools. As constructed, they have the tools to make a Super Bowl run. They're a very interesting team to look at. I think as the season goes on, if they can, win the NFC and teams have to come to Arizona to play, they're going to be a tough team to beat, because I think they have enough on defense. They have a very potent, it's like top 10 offense. They're going to make some plays. And I think Kyler Murray, as long as he's healthy, okay.
Yes, that is key.
Is going to be, he's going to be a big problem for any team to deal with in the NFC. So Arizona Cardinals, the number 2 team in my power rankings.
Okay.
You want to go first for number 1?
Yeah, I'll go first. For number 1.
It's pretty obvious who your number 1 is now after going through the top 9. So
yeah, my number 1, of course, is Arizona. And the reason why it's Arizona, and I battled with this. I actually was gonna go Rams number 1, Arizona number 2, but I'm like, they beat the Rams. They already beat them. And they beat them in the Rams' house.
Okay.
So to me, Kyler Murray is dynamic. My concern with Arizona, and this is why I pause with Arizona. I have them number 1 right now. But I pause with them because the one thing that we know about Kyler Murray is if he's nicked up, the biggest advantage a defense has is when Kyler Murray is nicked up. When he's nicked up, when his hand hurts, throwing shoulder hurts, or his legs, he has a nagging leg injury or something like that neutralizes him, because Kyler Murray's success is predicated on his legs.
Yeah.
Okay. He is, when I mean dangerous out the pocket, besides Lamar Jackson, he may be the most dangerous player outside the pocket.
Agreed.
Next to Lamar. And the thing is, because he is so low to the ground, so Lamar is 6 feet, right? And thin. Kyler is short and a little stocky, right? He's a little stocky guy. He's hard to take down because he's like a miniature running back when he takes off, and he's hard to take down.
He's very fast.
And his feet are so quick. Like, I remember I watched a run where I'm like, there's no way this guy's picking up a yard. And he was able to slide and pick up 6 yards. And I'm looking at the angle, and I'm like, oh, this guy got him. Like, you're looking at the angle, I'm like, he got him. But he is so elusive. And so, but when he's nicked up, you start seeing cracks in the armor. Listen, they have D-Hop. Listen, D-Hop is, in my opinion, I think you'll agree with me. D-Hop is the number 1 receiver in the league right now.
No, you're happy.
Best hands in the league. You can't tell me another receiver that has better hands than D-Hop right now in the league. I think we can agree with that. Christian Kirk, listen, he is slowly but surely, he is a dynamic slot receiver. Listen, they resurrected his career. AJ Green. AJ Green was always one of my favorites. He did go to the UGA. I had a chance to meet AJ Green at a car show one time. Really cool guy, awesome guy. And I root for him. I root for him, and I root for this resurgence in his career. He was a godsend for Arizona. Listen, Budda Baker on the defensive side, they have a defense, they have a pass rush, they get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
They got guys that can get to the quarterback, and they have a good coach. And but you know how I feel about these young coaches that come out from the tree of McVay that are linked to McVay in some way. When the rubber meets the road, when we get to the playoffs, and there's going to be some key decisions that need to be made. they tend to make mistakes. So, but I have Arizona Cardinals as number one. I think on both ends of the ball, they're the most complete team. And honestly, when you look at Arizona, you can look at the teams we have behind them, and you can say they can beat all of them. They can beat all the teams 2-9. Like there's not a team ranked 2-9 that you don't think that they can beat. They can beat all of them.
Agreed.
So that's why they're the number one spot. We'll give. I'm pretty sure we'll do one of these rankings again when we get to the end of the season, and maybe discuss where we had them in the middle of the season to where they are now. So, but right now, Arizona number one.
Also, Arizona, Rondell Moore. That's a very, very. That's another weapon for them to use. He's a very, very good receiver out of Purdue. For Arizona, my number one team are the LA Rams. Listen, LA Rams. This is what I feel about LA. Offensively, I think they have they're very balanced. Darrell Henderson, Sonny Michel in the backfield. Then you got the receiving core with Cooper Kupp, who is just destroying everyone this season. Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee. It's like they're all running. They have a lot of shorter receivers, but they run routes and they are able to get open, find creases in the defense, and make big plays.
They're great route runners.
Matthew Stafford has the arm strength and arm talent to make plays all over the field. I think what separates them is defensively, and I've said this before, they can reach a level. Okay, they may not be consistently like the top ranked defense, the top ranked passing or rushing defense, but I think for games they can reach a level that no other defense can hit. And with the play of Aaron Donald, the coverage ability of Jalen Ramsey, and now you add the pass rushing expertise of Von Miller, it gives them a defense that in a key moments, and I'm looking at their key games coming up. Okay, I'm looking at their key games coming up. They are going to be a very, very difficult team to deal with as the season goes on, because their defense, I think, like I said again, as it gets colder, they're a West Coast team that can play East Coast football. Okay, they can get down and dirty. If it's a cold game in December, they got you. If it's a sunny game out in LA, they got you. They can go either way. They can get their lunch pails and grind it out for 4 quarters, or just high fly and really destroy your opposing defense. I like LA.
But so here's a question I have for you though. And everything you said about the defense is true. But do you feel that when people play them as of late, do you think people are afraid of their defense? Because remember, a couple years past, people were afraid to do stuff with their defense. But as of this year, I'm seeing people take chances.
Yeah, you better take chances, because they're better at scoring now.
Yeah.
So you had to take chances because they're going to score some points.
Yeah.
So, but they had, like I said, can reach a level that nobody else can touch. I think any other defense can touch. And that is going to be, I think, what separates them as the season goes on. That's why they are my number one team right now. And I can perceive them being the number one team as the season progresses.
Okay.
All right. So let's take this opportunity to take a break. We're going to come back on the other side of the break with some talk on Aaron, number 12.
Aaron.
Number 12, Aaron Rodgers.
All right. We'll be right back.
All right. So we are back now. And as promised, prior to the break, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers, number 12 for the Green Bay Packers. If you haven't noticed, the Packers play the Kansas City Chiefs in a pretty big game on Sunday, and Aaron Rodgers will not be available for that game. Aaron Rodgers did contract the COVID-19 virus and will be unable to play because he is not vaccinated. Now, when asked earlier in the season if Aaron Rodgers was vaccinated, he stated that he was immunized. Okay. Now, he he's saying that it was I guess semantics, play on words. Immunization usually involves some kind of, I guess, injection, some kind of, something to show that you're immunized. But he stated that he was immunized, and it turns out he's not covered under the COVID. He's not vaccinated. Basically, he has an allergy to some of the key ingredients in the vaccines. That's why he alleges that he's allergic to some of those, one of the key ingredients in the vaccine. So he's unable to, he couldn't get the vaccine. So obviously he's on the same team with Kyrie Irving as, not wanting to get vaccine and bringing up some really funny ideas behind it. So what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, one, being unavailable for his team in a key pivotal game as a team leader, and then two, the fact that I don't know, you don't want to call a grown man a liar, but it's kind of hard.
What?
It's kind of hard to not call him a liar with basically what he said with what the actual truth of the matter is. So go ahead and share on Aaron Rodgers.
All right. So folks, I'm about to unleash right now. The whole thing about not calling someone no. Aaron Rodgers is a liar. He lied to the public. He gave the perception that he was vaccinated when he wasn't. That is a lie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We got to stop with this. Oh, you don't want to call somebody? No, he lied. He's a liar. Let's just call it what it is. Like this whole cancel culture nonsense. It needs to stop. He's a liar. He lied. Okay. And here's the reason why he lied. He lied because here's the thing. If he was forthright and said, I'm not vaccinated, that would have been a news story. He would have to be wearing a mask. Tell me this. When have you seen Aaron Rodgers with a mask on the sideline?
Yeah, he hasn't.
Remember,
he hasn't worn a mask at all.
Folks who aren't vaccinated have to have masks on. So the team allowed him to do this because they're trying their darndest to keep him on the roster. They don't want him to leave. So they allowed him to run amok. If I am the NFL, I'm going to send a message. Not only will Aaron Rodgers be suspended for the next 3 games, right? I'm taking 2 draft picks away.
Oh, wow. From Green Bay?
Yep. I'm taking 2 draft picks away. They're going to lose 2 draft picks and pay a fine. You want to, and here's, and let's not think about this. He wasn't, and here's the thing. I'm on the side of choice. I'm not on the side of being vaccinated. I'm on the side of choice. But this is the behavior that ruins that. Kyrie Irving, I got mad respect for Kyrie. He's like, look, man, I'm not getting this virus. I mean, I'm not getting this vaccination. It hurts his team, yes, but he's like, I'm doing this for me. Boom, done. He's not in the news, right? You could criticize him, say he's all about self, whatever. You don't hear from him. He's out. His team is on.
And remember, he is a voice to the voiceless.
Right.
So right now, he's being voiceless. That's why.
Well, like you said, he's a voice to the voiceless. So he's voiceless. He's gone.
Yep.
But Aaron Rodgers gave the perception that he was vaccinated, knowing full well he wasn't. Okay. And then he puts Joe Rogan's name. Joe Rogan ain't got nothing to do with this. He's like, I took this medication on the advice of Joe Rogan. Is Joe Rogan a certified medical doctor? Like,
oh my gosh!
Like, why are you getting Joe Rogan mixed into your analysis? What did he have to do with
I don't know. I don't know why that would even. That's
right. And so he said he took some medication on the advice of Joe Rogan. Oh wow! So Joe Rogan now is a medical professional. Okay, all right. So let's not go neither here or there. I think the NFL needs to send a message because it's Aaron Rodgers, because he has this sort of entitlement attitude, like, oh, I'm gonna do what I want, blah blah blah. No. His team allowed this, and like, here's the NFL's asking for. First of all, the NFL should be ashamed of itself because the NFL would have known that he's not vaccinated, right? Because from what I've read and seen and researched, that when he tried to do it, the NFL said like his exemption reasons weren't valid.
They weren't valid.
Weren't valid. So
he would have gotten an exemption.
Right. So he was documented as an unvaccinated player. So the NFL would have known that. How many primetime games the Packers have had this season already? 3, right? They had a 4:00. They had a Sunday night football game. They had a Thursday night football game. This guy talked in the face of Kyler Murray. Let's not forget, he went at the end of the game, gave Kyler a hug, and was talking in his ear, knowing full well he's unvaccinated. We got that. We have that on tape. And then 2 days later, whatever, they find out, hey, he has COVID. He could have had COVID. He could have had COVID during the game.
Yeah.
And now now he's exposed Kyler Murray, who, to me, it's irresponsible. The NFL needs to honestly, just to teach a lesson, I would lay down a $3 million fine, suspend him for 3 games, and this is for behavior. Yes, is this like sort of a get back? Yes, and they would lose 2 draft picks. For that. That's the way I would punish Aaron Rodgers. Like, I lost respect for him, and even though I agree with the choice side of things, but I don't agree with how he did it. You should follow the rules for unvaccinated players in the league. And for you to abuse that, and we have you on tape, the NFL doesn't need to get any tapes from Green Bay. We got you on tape after every game.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers exposed himself. And I think what was worse was the fact that he says that had they asked me a follow-up question, I would have elaborated. No, you left that open because you didn't want the backstorm or the fire of everybody knowing you're not vaccinated.
Right.
He did some immunotherapy or immune system boost that he supposedly did. Like, listen, he should have got, if there are, allergies, legitimate allergies to some of the ingredients in the vaccines, he would have been granted an exemption. They're very clear. If they show that you are allergic, you are exempt from the vaccines. I don't think he's being honest at all. He got caught.
He lied.
He
lied. He lied.
Right now he's spinning his wheels because his actions, are now costing his team. And this gives you a glimpse into what I think the Packers have dealt with him, and what people say he's a diva. He wants to do his own thing, but he doesn't want to get any of the repercussions, doesn't want to get any of the flack. As a leader, you have to take some of the flack. And I think it's that attitude, that has kept them from reaching the peak that they've been able to reach, that they, I think, should have reached, because everybody looking at the Packers, a well-run organization, always have talent. They should have had more Super Bowls, during his tenure. And it was selfish on his part to go and not to face the music and state and really inform and elaborate on your immunized status. That's on him, 110%. He wants what's going to be easiest for him. And even if it costs his team, he's going to do what he wants to do. And, my stance on the vaccine has always been the same. You don't do it for yourself. Nobody is taking liberties on your body. It's about what you do for other people. It's not about you. And I think his situation has always been about him. And that's why this is not a surprise. He wants to do things for his own good. The team is second. The team is secondary to him. And that's why people look at him and they don't believe that he's a leader, because he thinks of himself first, which is why we had the circus during the offseason. He's distracting from his team. The team has played better. They play well because they're well run. They're well coached. But at the end of the day, number 12 wants to do what is best for number 12 first. And that is a big issue. And he got caught in a lie. He's going to try to spin his wheels, but he got caught in a lie.
Right.
And it's a lie. It's a lie by omission. You said immunized. People are going to believe or come to the conclusion that you are vaccinated. Now, he's going to play on the fact that he used a different word, which is, again, semantics, and also claiming that had they elaborated more on the question. So now it's the media's fault. that
And,
they didn't
and so
ask the right questions.
here's the thing. So is he saying that whatever therapy that he took because he was allergic to it, did they inject him with that, or was that an over-the-counter pill? Because the word immunize means someone sticks you with a needle. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I would respect him more now if he came out and said this. I apologize. I lied. Don't tell me that you used the wrong choice of words. Say the truth. I lied. I apologize. If you don't want to say the word, I apologize for deceiving the public. I deceived. I lied. Okay. Because then here's my thing. If I'm a reporter interviewing him, I'm saying, oh, so when you use the word immunize, did they stick you with this sort of antibody that you took? So you took it via needle, or was it oral? And if he comes in and says, oh, it was an oral pill, that's not immunization. So you lied then. And that's the thing, is like, he needs to be held to the fire, because had it been a black star quarterback, they would have set him on fire. Okay. They would have burned him. I think the only black quarterback who would have been protected would have been probably Dak Prescott, because Jerry Jones likes to be in the spotlight. So, but and probably Patrick Mahomes would be protected. And I think Baltimore would do a good job protecting that. But like, he lied, and we got to stop saying poor choice of words. He knew what he was saying. He said what he said to throw people off, to avoid answering the question. Now he's saying, oh, they should have asked additional questions. When you use the words immunize, they're like, okay, well, then you're vaccinated. All right. Move on. What else is there to ask after that?
Yeah. He was dishonest.
Yeah.
And I think
he's a liar. No. Let's go ahead. He's a liar. He lied.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely not looking good for Aaron Rodgers in terms of, his credibility. And then also, what happens? Does the league fine and, potentially suspend him and make him miss even more games?
Right.
So we'll have to see what transpires.
The league should the league should drop the hammer on him, because he's got, and here's the thing, this is not the only thing he's gotten away with in the past. He's gotten away with a lot. I think the league should give him a cumulative punishment. 3 games.
Cumulative for what?
Well, give it to him for this. But in the back end, it's for all the nonsense he's done over the years. No,
you can't suspend him for nonsense. That's between him and the back end. The NFL can't suspend him for nonsense.
Right. The NFL doesn't have to say that. They have to say, for this, we're giving you a 3-game suspension. Your team, because here's the thing, you've played week after week not wearing a mask. So we're gonna fine you $3 million, which will be the biggest fine a team has had to pay. You're gonna be suspended for 3 games. You miss this one, we can let the Players Association argue, should you get 3 additional games, but you're missing 3 Sundays, okay?
Yeah.
And then your team should lose 2 draft picks.
So is the 3 games including the game that he's missing against Kansas City?
You can say that.
Three additional games.
You can say that, or 3 additional. Here's the thing. If the NFL says 3 additional games, what's going to happen is the Players Association will then go fight for him. And then it'll just be 2 games. So if you want, just say he's missing this game, give him 2 more. Okay. A $3 million fine and 2 lost draft picks. 2.
Pretty hefty.
They need to lose.
Steep
right.
price.
They need to lose draft picks. So.
Okay.
That'll send the right message.
It'll send. I definitely think it'll definitely send a good message. And I think, Aaron Rodgers there needs to be some flack. He needs to catch some flack for what he did. Like, you can't just do your own thing and expect not to have any consequences. You've already, affected your team by not being available for them in a very pivotal game against Kansas City on Sunday.
But with that being said, though, I really want Jordy to play well.
Oh, Jordan Love?
Yeah.
We'll see.
I really want him to play well. Like, if he balls out and beats Mahomes, right? That will make the decision easier long term for the Packers.
Yeah.
He needs to play well.
Yeah.
Because
I think so.
if he stinks it up, the Packers are like, oh God, we made a mistake. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you make a mistake, then it's like you still have time. I
Mm-hmm.
think is so. Even if you move on from Aaron Rodgers in the offseason, I mean, you could see if you can get another quarterback, or trade for someone in the interim while you develop somebody else, or you may have to run Jordan Love back as should give him an opportunity to improve. So they know how good he is and how good a quarterback he is. So it'd be interesting to see how that kind of works out. So, lastly, any last parting thoughts? Any quick thoughts? Anything? Any other quick topics you want to touch on before we break off?
Yeah, I do want to talk about Henry Ruggs.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Ruggs, wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders, who unfortunately killed due to poor decision making and alcohol. Unfortunately, killed a young lady and her dog.
So, all right. So, I am going to your. So it's funny the use of words. You stated that Aaron Rodgers was a liar, not
a
like
liar.
being dishonest. Henry Ruggs, poor decision making.
Right.
I think Henry Ruggs' decision making is a little bit more than poor.
It was poor decision making.
I think he's extremely selfish, self-centered.
Okay.
Because and the reason why I'm coming down harder on him, somebody lost their life because of his stupidity. Somebody's life ended. Somebody lost a daughter, a sister. I don't know I guess how her family breakup, but she was a daughter. She was, she had friends, and you took all that away because you are so reckless, negligent, and just absolutely careless with somebody else's life. Like that to me is the epitome of privileged, just egotistical. I mean, narcissist. I mean, there's so many words that come into play because you're driving inebriated, and his girlfriend was in the car with him.
Right. Which and well, that's why I said poor decision, because I'm like, there's a woman in the car who could have said, "Babe, you had a little bit too much to drink. Let me drive."
I have no idea what the what their relationship status is, or how the relationship is, or how it's structured. Now, but obviously she can't really tell him anything.
Right. But the thing is, someone had said that she should have taken the plea for him. And I was like,
of course.
Right. And I said that, I was reading this, and I was like, so we have men saying that she should have taken the murder charge for her boyfriend, not husband, her boyfriend.
Yes. And therein lies one of the big issues with manhood in 2021. Right. So the fact that you would even consider a guy's girlfriend taking the fall for him after he just killed someone. And
I don't know. I had to laugh. I had to laugh a little because I was like,
wow.
I was like, so yeah, so you guys feel because he's the man bringing in the money, she should sacrifice her life.
So that's the thing. She wouldn't even benefit from the money. She's in jail.
Right.
Give me a break. This is that is embarrassing.
And so like vehicular homicide is in Vegas is the minimum of 2 years, a maximum of 20. Okay.
He should get he should get more than 2 years.
So
you basically went out.
Here's what's gonna happen. He's an NFL player. He's gonna get 5. He's gonna get 5 years.
I think they need to make it long enough so that he's not playing in NFL football anymore.
Well, he's 22, right?
He's 22, so they need to get him. He may need to spend more than like a decade and pay some some restitution.
I don't think he's gonna get that much. Hey, remember Leonard Little did something very similar, and he was back in the league.
Yeah, but
he served like 4 years. 4 years, I think he did. I think 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, that was a while ago, and that was but
and he got back in the league.
156 miles an hour.
That was outrageous. And granted, I've taken a car. I've driven in a car. I took a BMW Alpina to 140 miles an hour
on a public street.
On a straightaway, on a racetrack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on a straightaway.
So, as far as I know, they were not on a racetrack.
Right. They were on
going 156
listen, I'm not gonna
miles
lie.
an hour.
In Vegas, some of the roads are like a racetrack.
156 miles an hour.
Right.
Drunk. That's the poor decision is driving drunk. Everything after that, it's narcissistic. I'm just like, but when people talk about privileged athletes, then this is Exhibit A right here.
Here's my question: what does it say about the woman who got in the car with him, knowing he was drunk?
You got in the car
knowing he was drunk.
Put her life. Yeah, she's not bright either. You go ahead and you get in a car with a guy that you know is drunk, like you said, and you almost lose your life. Now it doesn't make any sense to me. Like they are, as professional athletes, they have car services that can pick them up from wherever they need to be.
Right.
He was extremely selfish, and he has to pay the price. He has to be prosecuted and
here's the thing:
pay restitution to that family.
And unfortunately, like he was a player that I was really rooting for. This was a poor decision.
I think you're letting him off the hook. Poor decision. He made a poor decision. No, he made a. Let me finish. He made a poor decision that took someone's life, and I feel that he needs to pay a wrongful death to the family. Yeah, absolutely.
He needs to do like an alcohol, like community service work, all this other stuff he needs to do. But I just don't think that NFL players, like, had it been his girlfriend who was behind the wheel, they probably would have given her the full 20.
Yeah, and then he would have turned around. He would have turned around and dumped her, and then that would have been it.
Right.
That would have been the end of the story.
He would have put some money. He would have put some money on her books for her.
Yeah, put some money on her books, and that would have been it.
Yeah, but
this is just. I am extremely disappointed. Not in Henry Ruggs as a football player, as a man. Like you have all this hard work you did to put yourself in position to be successful and to be like a change agent in your community and for your family, and you choose to literally piss it all away.
Right.
Because the Raiders are a team, they'll keep you on. They're like Dallas. They'll keep you on. And the fact that they cut him a couple days later, like 1 or 2 days later, shows, there's no defending what he did.
Listen,
no defending what
he should have been. Listen, to me, the Raiders taking 2 days to cut him, I have a problem with that. He should have been cut literally the day it broke. There should have been an 8-hour.
You got to do your due. You have to do your due diligence. You can't just I heard this and then I'm out.
Rob,
you can't do that.
Rob, they had the video, right?
You have to do your investigation.
Right. The due diligence was he was behind the wheel and he killed her. Okay.
Yeah. That.
So he is going to. To me, like how like to me, as bad as it sounds, this ain't the first time an NFL player has killed a civilian. And I look at the jail sentences the NFL players get. It's like 4 years, 5 years. And I think what's going to happen with his case, unfortunately for the family, is he's going to get more than 2. That's a given. He's probably going to end up getting something like 5 to 6. He'll be in jail 22. That's 6 years. He'll be 28, 29 when he comes out. He's still going to be an NFL receiver.
Yeah, he could, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's just
if they give him the full 20. If they give him the full 20, his NFL life is over. But
it probably should be over. Regardless, like you don't need those kind of guys in the league that make poor decisions.
As long as the Raiders and Dallas are there, they take drug addicts.
They take guys who steal underwear. They'll take anybody.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the show.
Wait, hold on. like I know it's a show, but
we're
it's
done.
one guy.
We're done.
Free OBJ. Let's just say free OBJ
Yeah,
together.
go ahead and put that on. No,
free OBJ.
We can go ahead. We go ahead and put that on the Facebook group about freeing OBJ. But OBJ is going to get released, and we'll see what has happened. We'll see what happens and where he signs. We'll probably know by next week. So, guys, definitely we love the interaction. We love for you guys to. We love to thank you for supporting our podcast. But hit us up, bloodbrothersballin@gmail.com. bloodbrothersballin@gmail.com. Hit us up with your ideas, what you want, even some of your reactions to some of the stuff that we were talking about on our show. Instagram at Brothers Ballin Podcast. Again, Brothers Ballin. That's Ballin without the G. Podcast. And then Facebook group is Brothers Ballin Sports. So we also have merchandise on blackandwhite.com. That is spelled BLKNWHTE.com. Once again, Brothers Ballin Sports is the Facebook group. Black and White is the online for merch. And Instagram, Brothers Ballin Podcast. And then Brothers, Blood Brothers Ballin @gmail.com. Thank you for the interaction. Thank you for the love. And until next time, everybody, be a brother, be a sister, enjoy your sports. Peace.
Peace. We out.